What's up, folks? Today we're going to look at the Feyachi 1:4 power Tactical Falcon scope. Feyachi was nice enough to send this over to me, and I'm actually really impressed in the quality and clarity of this scope. This scope retails for around $100, so let's take a look at its features. To skip the boring unboxing, the scope comes simple with a manual and a cleaning cloth. Scope rings are not included. The body of this scope is at 30mm and will require 30mm rings. So as I mentioned, the scope clarity is very good. Here's a telephone pole at 300 yards at 1 power all the way up to 4 power. The diopter and the magnification level rings and adjustments are not too tight. They're stiff, and personally, this is where I like it. They can be easily manipulated with one hand, as you can see. Both the elevation and windage turrets are protected by this easily removable knurled cap. The turrets are marked in minutes of angle, and one click equals 1/2 MOA. It's easily resettable by picking up the cap and setting your zero, both elevation and windage. Alright, so let's see how well this thing tracks at 50 yards. So I'm exactly at 50 yards, the rifle is zoomed in at 4x, and I got the rifle strapped down as tight as I possibly can. I'm going to come up 8 MOA and then move over to the top left box, which is 6 MOA. Performing the box test, I'm going to go over right, back to 0, and then right again to 6 MOA. And that should be in the top right box. Now, I should go down, which I went the wrong way here, but let me go back down to where I was. Now I'm going to come back down to 0 elevation. Turret should be right on the horizontal line, and then drop it back down to the bottom right box at -8 MOA. Here you can see it's slightly off, and that's due to the wobbly table. But now I'm going to go back to 0 on vertical and then +6, and I'm on the bottom left box. Now going back up, I should go back to my elevation at 0, and I went the wrong way, of course, right about there at 0, and I'm going to go back up to the top left box at +8 MOA, and I am back there again. Now I'm going to run the turrets pretty fast and see if I can knock it out of alignment, and then bring the reticle back to 0. And it actually went back to 0 like it should. So that passed the box test. Well, one of the things a lot of folks forget to do is actually max out the elevation turret. I found that this scope particularly has 246 minutes of angle of adjustment. That's pretty impressive. But as you can see here, I'm going to max it out, and then I'm going to go all the way back to 0 to see if it bumped it out of alignment. Nope, passed that test. Well, that's pretty good for the value of this scope. Now the windage feature of this scope is very nice. It's split in both left windage and right windage all the way up to 15. Even some of the higher end scopes don't even have this feature. It makes it really nice so you don't have to do math in your head when you're dialing your windage. Now the adjustments are pretty tactile, as you can see. And one of the things that lack on low quality budget scopes is the alignment on the adjustments. You can see here that the alignment, even though it's a little bit loose on the turret cap, it does line up with the hash mark, both on elevation and windage. This scope does feature an illuminated reticle, and the battery compartment is housed on the brightness level turret using a 2032 CR battery. The brightness levels go from 0 to 11. Now this scope does not have a off feature in between, which I wish it did have, and the brightness level of this scope isn't really visible during daylight. Here it is indoors on the brightest setting with dim daylight, and you can see it is visible, but it isn't too bright. So it's going to be usable for indoor use. Now for the value of this scope, for just over $100, I think you get a lot of bang for your buck. Now one thing I wish that Feyachi would change on this scope is the reticle type. I wish they used a bullet drop compensator or a 3-dot system. That way folks that are wanting to use this style scope on ARs or their hunting rifles and rigs could have a holdover out to 500 yards. But overall, this scope has a lot of high-end features for little spent. Like I mentioned, it has very good clarity, and it has a 1:4 power illuminated reticle. The turrets track really good. It's easily resettable to 0 with a spring-loaded turret cap, and it has over 240 minutes of angle. It comes with scope cap rings and overall the scope itself feels very durable. So I'm going to say this is a good buy for $100. So far it's been holding up to some punishing recoil with a 12 gauge shotgun and also my .308 rifle with a 200 grain bullet. Well folks, what do you guys think? For $100, I think this is a pretty good buy. I'd like to hear you guys' thoughts. Comment below, let me know. And in the description box below this video, I'll put an affiliated link to Amazon where to buy this scope and also pin it in the comments. Well folks, I just want to say thanks for watching. So little reviews like this will pop up once in a while where I feel that these little budget-minded items and accessories for your rifles are going to help you out. I put these items through a fair amount of testing, so I will never promote crap on my channel and always give you guys an honest review. Well guys, thanks for watching. Stick around, there's always more videos. Be safe, and I'll catch y'all on the next video.